Even for an investment behemoth like Temasek, that timing couldn't have been worse.
Well, you're right. No one saw it coming, and no one suddenly didn't see that it would spread so wide from tech to education to gaming. And like Steve said, you have to be careful. The risks are getting higher. If you take a look at the 13F filings to the SEC, you see that Temasek has been buying up Chinese shares. In terms of DD Global, it bought it for the first time before that clamped down. It added to shares of Baidu as well as online companies. It simply highlights just how challenging it is to be investing in a market where you want to see big returns, but now you have to deal with uncertainties to do with regulation. I just want to point out just how badly Temasek has been hit by the clampdown. If you take a look at its shares in Didi, it's lost about 42% of the value there. It's lost about 35% in Pinduoduo. But where it is hit the most is education, online education, the likes of New Oriental Education, TEL Education. It's lost in excess of 70+%. So that gives you the magnitude of how Temasek has been hit. Though in my earlier conversations with Temasek, it says it takes a longer term approach. It sees beyond regulations. So we have to wait and see how much risk appetite there is for Temasek to hang on to these investments.
Yeah, you can imagine how badly hit they must be, given how big China is in terms of its overall portfolio.
Let me put that in perspective. China accounts for 27% of its overall portfolio, and this is a company that manages in excess of $200 billion in AUM. That's down from 29% before. But having said that, in terms of the total value, total amount of investments in China, it added 14 billion Sing dollars. So it is a big amount. And China has helped it in terms of its returns. It saw 25% returns in the last financial year. That is the largest in more than 10 years. So whether or not it can continue at that pace, that is the big question. But, something that's really interesting when it comes to Temasek, it's always invested in new companies. It's always helped the Chinese industries. It was one of the earliest investors in Alibaba, for instance. So it's always been attracted in the growth of China. So let's wait and see how it all pans out. I mean, it was an early investor, WuXi Biologics. It's paid dividends before, but going forward, how will this all play out?